Still stuck in that rank and wondering what the hell you are doing wrong? Is your hero getting deleted before the fight even starts? Or maybe, just maybe, you are picking the wrong one for this meta. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are breaking down 15 of the strongest meta heroes right now that will help you rank up without losing your sanity. Let's jump right into it. Starting off with Granger. Granger is not just a good pick right now, he is one of the safest, smoothest and most rewarding marksmen you can play this patch. Why? Because he gives you everything. Early pressure, long range burst and a safety net to not get caught like he's sitting there. You are not stuck waiting until minute 12 to escape. The moment you hit level 4, you have already got enough juice to start deleting squishes across the lane. And that ultimate, it lets you impact fights even before they start. You don't even have to fully commit, just pop some shots, assist from range and clean up with strike. What makes him meta right now is his flexibility and how well he performs in both solo queue and coordinated plays. He doesn't rely on supports to babysit him, he holds his own, win trades and punishes aggressive laners with that signature critical shot rhythm. He's the perfect pick if you want to feel in control from the get-go. Here are the suggested builds and emblems for our Deadshot musician. Moving on to Kimmy. Kimmy is that chaotic energy everyone forgets about until she walks into the lane, spray your face off and zooms away laughing. She is unorthodox, yes, a little awkward to control, definitely, but when mastered, she becomes an absolute nightmare. She doesn't play like a traditional marksman, and that's exactly why she is thriving in the current meta. She pokes relentlessly, clear waves at light speed, and her map mobility lets her control objectives like a roaming mage. What's wild about Kimmy is her ability to ignore the front line. She doesn't need to kite around tanks, she just dashes past them and starts spraying the squishy cores. And if you try to chase her, good luck catching someone who is running and shooting in all directions like she's dual-wielding Mario Kart controls. She is also amazing for keeping tempo if you are aggressive with her. Enemies can't breathe. If you are behind, just rotate lanes, clear waves and keep farming until you are back in control. In short, Kimmy isn't for everyone, but if you like a high-speed pressure, harassment and tactical poke that feels oppressive over time, she is an S-tier annoyance that's worth every second of practice. These are the suggested builds and emblems for our Chemical Chaos Queen. Now let's talk about Badang. Badang is still the people's champion of don't stand near a wall warning sign. Even after his cooldown nerf, the guy continues to be a walking threat, especially in close quarters where he can line up the ultimate and make it feel like you just stepped into a combo video. But he's more than just flashy plays. He brings heavy presence during early game skirmishes, and unlike a lot of fighters, he doesn't need a full item set to start being relevant. His crowd control is oppressive, his sustain is decent, and his gank setups in roam role are criminally underrated. What makes Badang so powerful in rank is his ability to punish mispositioning. One wall, one push, one ultimate, and boom, a kill. He is a hero that can literally win you a fight before it starts. And in the late game team fights, his zoning pressure alone forces enemies to split, stall, or outright disengage. He is disruptive, fun, and ridiculously satisfying to lane combos with, especially when your enemies don't respect the wall. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to punch your way out of epic. Next up is Moscow. Moscow is what we call hyper carry with the personality disorder. He looks calm until you let him farm. And then suddenly you are pinned to a wall, getting pierced through by basic attacks, and your tank's HP bar is vanishing in real time. Early game, just stay chill. But once you hit that mid-game power spike, Moscow goes from poke damage to please someone stop this man. His blink makes him slippery, his passive makes him crank shredder material, and his CC lets him outplay frontliners who try to dive. What makes Moscow especially scary this patch is that he's scaling earlier than usual. And unlike other marksmen, he doesn't need to rely on crit RNG to blow people up. You just blink, reposition and step away until there's nothing left to stab. He's a fan favorite in solo queue for a reason. He punishes poor positioning, turns every jungle camp into gold, and has a kind of late game that makes everyone yell GG before the load even spawns. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to unleash your inner teleporting menace. Moving along to Chang'e. Chang'e is that annoying mage who somehow always has mana, always has cooldowns, and never stops throwing things at your face. And right now, she is thriving. The meta has shifted heavily into poke, zoning, and mid-pressure. Chang'e checks all three boxes into a smug smile. She is perfect for whittling down enemy health bars before fights even begins. And her ability to control choke points during load or turtle fights is next level. Plus, she is super lane dominant. Her tier speed means she gets to rotate before most mages, letting her assist in side lane fights or pressure jungle invades. And that ultimate, with his new build in the scene, she's a menace. Man, 8-second ultimate is crazy. Just move around a little and you can do more chaos again. Here are the sister builds and emblems to rain down pure destruction. Moving on to CC. CC is a menace in the EXP lane right now. Her mobility makes her nearly untouchable, and once she starts hitting you, the DPS ramps up real quick. She doesn't rely on burst, she wears you down while dancing around your skills. Ever since her buffs, she's gone from mid-tier to must-ban if you head spinning. Her playstyle rewards aggressively trades, and she is especially annoying for heroes who rely on predictable skill shots or lake mobility. Here are the social builds and emblems to spin circles around your enemy. Now let's talk about Clint. Clint is your classic early game lane bully. He doesn't need fancy combos, he just hits like a truck with every enhanced basic attack. His range and burst are enough to keep most gold laners on their toes or straight up out of lane. While he does fall off slightly in extended fights, that first 2 item power spike is a game changer. One shot, one dash, and boom, someone's already at base. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to make that 6-shooter count. Next up, Brody. Brody is a reliable marksman with one of the strongest early games in the role. His stun zones off divers and his ultimate can slip team fights instantly. He's not about raw attack speed, he's about precision and positioning. That slower but heavier playstyle is perfect for players who don't want to rely on auto attacks to carry. A solid pick for both new and experienced players. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to blast your way through gold lane. Let's talk Julian. Julian is one of the best flank picks in the current patch. He fits comfortably in mid, jungle or even side lane thanks to his hybrid nature. He's got sustain, crowd control and burst. Once you understand his combo timing, Julian becomes an absolute weapon. He's not flashy, but he is relentless. And that's what makes him a sleeper OP in ranked right now. Here are the suggested builds and emblems. Moving along to Immortal. Immortal thrives in mid to late game chaos. She doesn't need to stop and shoot like other marksmen, she just walks and deletes. AoE autos makes her scary in team fights, especially when she's got farm. She's also one of the best marksmen against tanks. While others are still trying to break front lines, Immortal just charges in and melts everything in her path. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to strafe your way to Savage. Now it's time for Suyu. Suyu hasn't moved from the top of the meta since his release. Even after multiple nerfs, his mobility and burst potential are too good to ignore. He can invade, assassinate, and reposition before anyone reacts. He also creates chaos in team fights with his clone, forcing enemies to hesitate, misclick, or waste ultimates. He is slippery monster, and that's exactly why he is still top tier. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to vanish and reappear like a ghost. Next up, Hayabusa. High bend rate zones begins. Hayabusa is still a nightmare for squishy backliners. His shadows gives him nearly limitless mobility, and when played right, he becomes untouchable. One combo and your marksman is gone. But yeah, good luck getting him. His bend rate is sky high in ranked, so if you do get him, don't waste the opportunity. Here are the suggested builds and emblems for the silent eliminator. Moving on to Lucas. Also banned in most games, Lucas is a bruiser that plays like a wall. He is hard to control, shrugs off CC, and still puts out enough damage to make squishies run. In team fights, he is the one diving deep and soaking attention, and somehow surviving it. He is not flashy, but he is brutally effective. And because of that, he rarely makes it through the draft phase. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to bulldoze your way through fights. Let's talk Kalia. One of the most banned roams right now. Kalia is a pure chaos. She can yank enemies carry out of position, heal allies, and just generally ruin clean engages. She forces bad positioning and punishes hesitation. If you get her, you control the flow of team fights, but don't count on getting her every match. She is perma-ban material for a reason. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to drag your team to victory. Finally, Glue is back to being the ultimate EXP lane. He sticks to carries, split into blobs, and heals through almost everything. You try to peel him off, and he just reattaches like a cling wrap. He is not banned as often as others, but that doesn't mean he is a weak. Pick him when your team needs a frontline menace who just won't die. Here are the suggested builds and emblems to stick to victory. So there you go, 15 heroes that are dominating and making rank just a little more bearable. Which one are you maining this season? Did your hero make the list? And be honest, how many of you are still trapped in epical hell? So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.